maybe it could be two different cells. Most analysts are saying, no, if there's something going on here, this is some kind of setup. Does it surprise you, though, that they're still focusing on planes so long after 9/11?
Again, I don't know. I mean, I don't know what's going on here. It's very suspicious. Most people say, again, we don't know what the investigators know of this so far, or going into their specific backgrounds of these individuals. It doesn't surprise me because I believe that's the challenge. The challenge is, if that's where our focus has been and they can take that down, that's an extra victory for them. I've often wondered, though, why they haven't looked at other unsecured public places in the United States to commit their acts of terror, and maybe that's because that's the challenge to them, is to go after the airlines. Or maybe they believe that airlines are still easier, especially because I was reading this today that check baggage coming from overseas isn't X-rayed.
Yeah.
It's not the same as here in the United States.
Right.
But again, if it is a test, I think they're trying to find the weak spots, because that would really send the message: hey, no matter what you Americans think, we can still get your planes, no matter how much money, how much effort, how much time, how much inconvenience you have to go through. We can get you on the plane.
Well, or it could be a huge distraction. They could be looking to contaminate water supplies and just doing these dry runs on airlines, knowing that nothing's really going to come of that, and they're just creating a distraction.
Yeah.
Who knows?
I heard they want to put more fluoride in the water.
Well, no, that would be wrong. Well, or they also wanted to put more butter in the restaurants, fatten us up, because they consider that torture, since so many of the terrorists at Gitmo were being tortured by giving too much food.
Their goal is to, I love it, their goal is to put more trans fats in food.
That's right. They're actually sneaking the salt and trans fats back into foods in New York City. They're going to kill us over a period of 400 or 500 years.
Al-Qaeda believes they can defeat us by obesity.
Just make them fat.
Yeah, but when you
they won't be productive.
Yeah, but when you think about it, when you look at the 9/11, the 9/11 terrorists, they were, and this is the most interesting thing, they proclaim it's all for Islam. I woke up and the speech was on. I watched the speech, then immediately just went into the other room in the office and jumped on my computer and just wrote this. Not even getting into the content of the president's speech, all I could think while watching it is, he's reading it. It was devoid of any emotion, passion, or incredible pride in the almost impossible job, again, done by our military. As for the content, it's really come to the point where it really doesn't matter, as he's lost total credibility with me and the majority of America. And it was interesting because right after I wrote that, I went back in and the television was on in my bedroom, and I was going to get to the master bathroom to take a shower, and there was O'Reilly on saying the exact same thing. It's like, it was completely devoid of any passion or emotion. I'm like, wow. Just amazing. And it seems like most people on the left, it was a wonderful tempered speech. It was a grim speech for a grim war. He does not come across as a president of the United States at all. You and I have talked about this, what an incredible job the military has done here again. I've got a cut. I just want to see if I got this cut here, because I think it's just so incredible. The situation about what the American military has done over there. This is, and I forgot which ABC reporter it is here. It's not. I don't have it here on the audio cut, but let me just play it here.
What we found is this pervasive gloom and pessimism, this fear that as the American combat troops withdraw, that will lead to a spike in violence. And this is based in part on this lack of confidence that you hear among Iraqis in their army and in their police.
How incredible that is, that the United States, again, because the left wants to make you think that we are the occupiers and have been the occupiers of Iraq. And right there, and that's from ABC News, not a liberal outlet. That's what they're finding. The American military, which means the United States, has gained the trust of the Iraqi people that we care about them, that we are not there to take over their country. It's not about taking their oil. Everything that the left claims and still probably would claim that's what it's for. The Iraqi people don't believe. The Iraqi people know that the American military, and therefore the United States, cares about their freedom. What an incredible message that the president should have been, I think, focused on. Again, here's the United States sacrificing money, lives, in order to free an oppressed people, and that oppressed people, over a period of 40 years, they get it. They understand it.
Well, this president, as a senator, had an anti-war record of voting. Everybody knows that. He didn't point out the fact that he voted against the funding, and he didn't point out the fact that President Bush signed this agreement into place. He didn't, he did mention President Bush, just only to point out the differences. The only purpose of this speech was to show that he fulfilled his agenda. There was absolutely no feeling of a speech by a commander-in-chief. None whatsoever. No authority in this speech whatsoever. There's nothing there, and he's not about to build up the positive aspects of this effort in Iraq. He's not about to say it. He can't. He can't bring himself to it. So none of that surprises. It was weak. It was lame. It's, look what I did. I promised you this, and I'm doing this. And again, he even mentioned President Bush, but completely left out the fact that President Bush got this ball rolling.
In fact, here's the audio cut of him mentioning President Bush.
Here too, it's time to turn the page. This afternoon, I spoke to former President George W. Bush. It's well known that he and I disagreed about the war from its outset. Yet no one can doubt President Bush's support for our troops or his love of country and commitment to our security. As I've said, there were patriots who supported this war and patriots who opposed it. And all of us are united in appreciation for our servicemen and women and our hopes for Iraqi's future. The greatness of our democracy is grounded in our ability to move beyond our differences and to learn from our experience as we confront the many challenges ahead.
And again, learning from his experience, he was absolutely opposed to what was going on in Iraq. But I think it's just critically important to bring out, number one, President Bush was right on the surge. And remember, there were Republicans that didn't want him to do it. He took a tremendous amount of heat, even from his own party, on that, but he was right. And no matter what you think, though, about the Iraq War, the United States, again, and I cannot emphasize this enough, we have done it again. We did it in Germany. We did it in Japan. And also what he doesn't talk about is how critical, he didn't mention how critical it is to have a fledgling democracy in the Middle East, the hope that it gives to others. And it was Dan Harris, by the way, from ABC News, who was talking about it. But I got a bunch of cuts from Dan Harris. This is ABC News now, not a conservative outlet at all, talking about how Iraqis, they want the America to be there. They want the United States support. They understand that to have freedom, it is critical for the United States, not the former Soviet Union, not Cuba, not North Korea, not Australia. Not that I'm putting Australia in with those totalitarian dictatorships, but any other country out there. That's not what they're concerned about. Is having the support of Americans, because they understand that it is the United States, it is the American troops, it is the United States and the people of the United States. They understand now it's about their freedom. And it's so critical, because this is all about right there. That's where American exceptionalism comes in, right there. The fact that we are the country. We are the country that cares about you and your freedom. The Iraqi people now have that message. And like I said, ABC and Dan Harris has had a report on it on ABC News and a bunch of different audio cuts. That's what they're finding now that the American troops have been there. They have gained the trust of the Iraqi people, that they care about their lives, their liberty, and their freedom, which is absolutely incredible when you see the selfishness and self-interest in this world and the history of this world over the last 50 years. This is truly American exceptionalism and the leadership that America has shown here, which is just awesome and completely lost on this president and members of the Democrat Party and the left in this country in general. So there you go. All right, your calls and comments coming up. If you want to get in the discussion, it's so easy. 800-288-9227. That's 800-288-9227. It's a Midnight Radio Network. Gary McNamara along with Eric Carley. Let's go to Lisa. Lisa in Dallas. Lisa, hi. You're on the Midnight Radio Network. Hi, welcome.
Hi, thank you. Gary, the only good thing about coming in at midnight, flying into DFW is getting to hear you guys on the radio again. So
Wow, thank you.
I'm usually asleep at this time, but I had a couple of things. As far as our commander-in-chief, and I use that term loosely, my son is deployed at this time to a top secret site. We don't even know where he is. And I can tell you as a mom of someone who's been in the military that it's our job to pump these guys up. I mean, every time I travel, I try to give them a little bit of extra money when I see them in the airport and say, hey, you guys buy yourself a drink or something, you know, do something for them. Just shake their hand and tell them thank you for their service.